In the summer of 1683, Europe stood on the brink of collapse. An unstoppable Ottoman army surrounded Vienna, threatening to sweep across the continent. But from the east came a savior, the King of Poland. This is the story of how European forces, led by the King of Poland, destroyed 120,000 Ottoman soldiers in the Battle of Vienna. The Ottoman Empire was at the height of its power in the 17th century. Stretching across 3 continents, it commanded vast armies and aspired to bring Europe under its rule. The jewel they sought was Vienna, the gateway into the heart of Europe. Twice before, the Ottomans had attempted to conquer the city, but in 1683, they returned with their mightiest force yet. Led by Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha, an army of nearly 120,000 soldiers marched toward Vienna. The city's defenders, numbering barely 15,000, braced for a siege that seemed doomed from the start. For 2 months, cannons thundered against Vienna's walls, supplies dwindled, and hunger spread. The fate of Europe hung by a thread. A desperate cry for help. As Vienna's situation grew desperate, pleas for aid were sent across Europe. Yet many kingdoms hesitated, fearing the Ottomans' strength. One ruler, however, answered the call without hesitation: John III Sobieski, King of Poland. Known as a brilliant commander and devout defender of Christendom, Sobieski gathered his forces and marched swiftly to Vienna. The Polish army, reinforced by Austrian and German troops under the banner of the Holy League, numbered around 70,000 men. Though outnumbered, they carried with them faith, discipline, and the hope of a continent. The day of reckoning, September 12, 1683. At dawn, the Allied forces positioned themselves on the hills surrounding Vienna. The Ottomans, confident in their numbers, prepared for battle. All day, fierce clashes erupted. Austrian infantry fought desperately at the city walls, while Polish cavalry skirmished against Ottoman lines. But the true climax came in the late afternoon. As the sun began to sink, Sobieski unleashed his most powerful weapon, the Winged Hussars. The legendary charge of the Winged Hussars. The Winged Hussars were Poland's elite cavalry, feared across Europe. Adorned with massive wings that whistled as they charged, they were both a psychological and physical terror. On September 12th, more than 18,000 horsemen, led personally by Sobieski, thundered down the hills toward the Ottoman lines. It was the largest cavalry charge in history. The ground shook as lances and sabers tore into the exhausted Ottoman troops. Panic spread through the enemy ranks. Kara Mustafa's once mighty army collapsed into chaos, fleeing in all directions. By nightfall, the siege of Vienna was broken. The rout of the Ottomans. What had begun as a near-certain Ottoman victory ended in disaster. More than 20,000 Ottoman soldiers lay dead, and the survivors scattered. Vienna was saved, and with it, Europe. Sobieski entered the city as a hero, hailed as the savior of Christendom. The legacy of Vienna. The victory at Vienna was not just a military triumph. It was a turning point in world history. It marked the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's decline in Europe and the rise of the Holy League's influence. The story of how European forces, led by the King of Poland, destroyed 120,000 Ottoman soldiers became a legend, inspiring generations. The battle also highlighted the importance of unity. Without the alliance of Poland, Austria, and German states, Vienna would surely have fallen. Sobieski himself humbly declared, "I came, I saw, God conquered." Even today, the Battle of Vienna stands as a reminder of resilience, courage, and the power of decisive leadership. It was the moment when Europe, facing its darkest hour, fought back and turned the tide of history.
History is filled with battles that change the world, but few are as dramatic as Vienna in 1683. If you enjoyed learning about the story of how European forces, led by the King of Poland, destroyed 120,000 Ottoman soldiers in the Battle of Vienna, follow our channel for more epic tales that shaped the course of humanity.